Like, I mean, I was just like all over the place getting in there. And so what we've learned is that it's an extremely powerful tool, and it gets more and more powerful, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So, if someone has the time to learn it, it's awesome. But the problem with high level is also its best feature, I think, is that it's constantly improving and changing.
Hmm.
So the second you are an expert, you are no longer an expert. So the learning curve is very steep. So we're going out of our way to stay on top of that and in front of that. So you guys don't have to. So if you want to do it yourself, absolutely. We have a online training portal. Um, you can go to YouTube University like I did those first 2 weeks, you know, and uh, and figure out a lot of stuff. But we're obviously here to support you if you get to a point. When you get to a point that's like it's not practical anymore because you're working in your business instead of on the business, right? So the questions I get are around that DIY side very often. And the biggest one I get, and it's loaded, is what's the best way to structure my funnel? And it's really easy to say, oh, just put the book on there and have the button, like we can fulfill it, or you can still fulfill it through Amazon, which we don't recommend, but you can do it that way. Um, but it's not that simple. Like if you're wanting to sell you in your services, in your coaching, or whatever your bigger product is, it's much more intricate than that. So I thought that would be a good question to start with because that's the question I get a lot. Like, well, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, people have built, most people, right, have built their own websites, you know, um, and put something up there. But how do you build a funnel that's going to do that? So I basically talk about, you have the book on the first page. Someone
You
says,
want to
yeah,
do you want to do a screen share, or do you think it's smart to just
yeah,
kind of give a little rundown?
let
But
me,
yeah,
let me go
and that's the
to a
thing is like
client.
go high level to give you guys a quick understanding on this. Go high level is an all-in-one software program. It's unbelievable. I mean, and it's built for agency owners. So if you're out there and you're thinking, should I become a go high level customer? It's smart to go underneath of an agency. The reason why is because if you're not going to be in this game and constantly wanting to understand website, A2P connection, verification,
Ugh.
then you would want an agency to handle all that for you. So ClickFunnels is a direct to consumer setup. It's a lot more dumbed down whenever it comes to what it can offer, and it's good. But it's just not doesn't have all the capabilities of the Kajabis and the HubSpots and all that. So Go High Level has completely changed the game for agency owners like us. But what we can do is we can tailor it to a specific niche. And our niche is anybody who has a book and a business. Take your book and grow it many ways. If you have already content down on a piece of paper, you can multi-purpose it 1,000 different ways in text messages and emails and newsletters, and then campaigns when it comes to courses and masterminds. It never ends. So a book is the beginning. And whenever a book is done and they're a bestseller, they are handed off to Elisa and they are just saying, all right, where do I go from here? Because it really never ends. If you have the book done, it's such a fire starter for 1,000 new revenue streams, 1,000 new ideas.
Right. And given that, the funnel is the first step of that. Like
Yep.
the funnel is the first step of all that because everything drives off of that. So yeah, I'll share my screen and I'll take you to, this is a work in progress. And I kind of want to plug this guy because he's super cool. And his name is Steve Leach. And he is a long distance endurance swimmer, and he swims to raise money for mental health services for at-risk youth. So to raise money and awareness. So it might take a bit to load up because we're on Zoom. And as you know, my bandwidth is low. So here is the opening page of his funnel that we've built for him. And I'll show you the kind of behind scenes stuff for it as well. He's got a movie that just came out too that I can't wait to see.
Yep.
But
I
this
think
is like,
it comes out next week, I believe, somewhere in
well,
there.
the premiere was
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. and then it's coming out. So here's here's a kind of a basic opening funnel page. We're trying to tell a story about the book, telling a story about the story. Here and here you can't see it, but this is a video of Steve talking about the book, and I love it. He's like, this book is not about me as much as it's about God and God's influence in my life. He's a real cool guy, really awesome guy. So anyway, let me go back to the nuts and bolts of this. If I go back to the funnel steps, what we've done, and this is what I mean by the structure. The structure shouldn't just be, here, sell the book. The structure should be sell you and sell what you're doing. So I'll get back to, you just watch my screen loading. Here we go. So we have a couple upsells. So one of the things that we do is, okay, they go to the page and they decide, yeah, I want this book. They click that button. Well, what they do is they get the upsell page. And what that looks like is, maybe if I just go view page, that'll be faster.
And this could be duplicatable, like, right? You're saying just copy
Totally
and paste.
duplicatable. What we do is, in fact, we can actually, if someone wants to do this themselves, we can probably build them out, a template based on some of the stuff that we have already. So here's the 90-day challenge. It's 15-minute countdown. And this is a video of him talking about the challenge and what it involves. And they can say, yeah, I want that, or no, thanks, I'm good. And if they go to that, it's going to go to the next downsell. So this is a preview, so I don't know if we'll do it. So let me just go to the downsell. So we start with an upsell and then at least one downsell. And you'll see Steve actually has two that we're putting together for him. Now,
Yeah,
this funnel
this
is
is not
live, but
live.
we don't,
Nobody knows
his
about it
funnel's
yet.
live, but not this part, right? What's live is just that front page because we wanted it up and going in time for that movie, for that premiere, so he can send people to the website. So next week, we're going to be going live with this. Oh, you don't want the 90-day? Well, what do you think about the 7-day? So again, this will be a video of him talking about it. And, just some messaging like, hey, this is something that you're going to get into and what it includes. So same thing, if they say yes or no, they go to the next one more downsell, which is just a bundle. So what we've done is a couple things here. One is, hey, if someone visits the funnel and they buy that upsell, or even the downsells, that's instant where we want them to go anyway, right? We don't have to nurture that relationship so much. They've already decided, yeah, I want to work with this guy. Yeah, I want to do this. Or even if they don't, they've gone through this process and it doesn't last forever. It's not annoying. It's not like sometimes you go onto these websites and it's like, oh, free this and this, and then you got to go through 20 minutes of upsells and downsells. This is very quick to go through. And in that process, even if they've decided not to do this, this will be like an online community in a bundle. By the way, this last downsell, even if they've decided not to do this, what they've done is they've learned about Steve. They've learned about what he does, that he's not just about a book. He's not just about this movie that's coming out. He is committed to helping people. He came from a real tough background of serious addiction and literally turning his life around and now carrying, he calls it the sweat equity for others. Like, let me be the sweat equity to get people help. So even if they just ultimately get the book, now they know that there's a lot more to Steve than the book. And so even if it doesn't sell anything, the funnel educates the person who's come to visit the site. So that's my answer to that question. How
And
I
it makes them look professional. Am I right?
Very professional.
Look, I have many guests on my podcast, guys, and I go to their website and I can tell if they're committed to their craft or not based off of their website.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, by having that in place, it does do something psychologically to your consumers or market. Oh, they're a little bit more professional than the average person, which means they're more likely to follow you online, more likely to show up to your events, more likely to buy from you, but or read your book or anything in regards to maybe having you or them on their podcast. So it's crucial to just have a great brand image, and a funnel does that pretty fast. All that can be done in how long, you think, Elisa?
You know, it really depends. I always tell people like, hey, if you're getting me the stuff I need in a timely manner, there's a couple more layers to the funnel that are the technical side, and that you alluded to it. H2P verification, which is the ability to send text messages and not get them bounced, email setups, securing the domain and getting that all set up. But if everybody's on track, like if I say, hey, I need a video for this and that and this and that, and I'll talk about automations in a second, that's where I need most of it. Then we can do it 2, 3, 4 weeks tops. Sometimes it takes longer because of that A2P. So I generally start that fairly early in the process, because once we submit that registration to be approved to send text messages through the carriers, and it goes through a third-party system, it's out of our control. There's nothing we can do. It's just a waiting game. So I typically start that in the first week. But like for example, right now I've got 2 funnels that are kind of stalled because we're waiting for that, because I don't want the automations to run. Not just me, but the client's like, no, let's wait. They're fine waiting. We can always launch it without that, but then you're missing that capability for the text messaging, which is a really powerful piece in the automation. So I can show you one of the automations that we've set up recently for someone.
Yeah, just 1 second. I know we have Ashley Palmer. I want to introduce everybody to Ashley Palmer too. She's joining us for a little bit of time to answer some questions that we always get. And Ashley, if you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody about what you do here, and then maybe 1, 2, or 3 questions that you get pretty much every week or every day.
Yeah, there's a handful of questions that we get pretty often. But hi, everyone. I'm Ashley. You've probably seen Mike post about me a number of times. I'm project manager for the Dreamstars publishing side. So if you ask me any questions about the $1 billion book agency side, I might not be able to answer super great, but anything Dreamstars publishing, come my way. I got you covered. Leave Mike alone, leave Mike out of it. I'll get you taken care of. And that's the way things are kind of set up. But in terms of like the most asked questions, one of the questions we get that's typically like before somebody even becomes a client is like, what if I already have some of my book done? Like, can you guys help me finish it off? And the quick answer is yes. But ultimately, it just depends on what you have, what you're looking for. But in most case scenarios, we're able to help you get across the finish line. The only thing we tend to avoid doing is like kids' books, because they can be kind of tricky and they're usually outside of our realm, since we don't have like necessarily a specific designer on hand to be tweaking things. But if you already have some of a book written, we can pretty much do any writing or rewriting or editing needed to get it polished and ready to go. We can have covers created, we can publish, we can do bestseller. So wherever you're at in the book making stage, we can kind of help you get across that finish line. You don't necessarily need to sign up to do a full package with us if you already have some stuff done. And then another question is, how long does it take? And this is more so for the full package clients. Like, how long does it take from the time you finish your second interview, starting the project off? How long from then until it's finished? And the answer for this varies a ton. Ultimately, it depends a lot on how long you take to work on your edits. Some clients are very, very fast with it, finish their edits within a week to a couple weeks, but typically it's more around the 1 month to 2 month range that it takes to really edit your book. And then you'll have another round of edits again after you receive the proof copy, the physical copy. And again, that can, add length to the time, but you'd be looking at a minimum of around 3 months. I'd say if you're moving speedily, you're not necessarily like overly rushing anything, but you're making sure you're on top of things and you're pretty okay with how everything turns out, then we'd be looking at like a minimum of around 3 months. Typically, I see books finish off anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Typically doesn't go over 6 months unless you just like disappear off the face of the earth. We've had that happen a small handful of times. But usually when things are consistently flowing, even if edits take a long time on your part, we'd be looking at a range of 3 to 6 months before, we schedule your bestseller push and launch the book for you. And then lastly, another question we get asked a lot is, how does bestseller work? You guys probably all see the emails coming in about bestseller push, bestseller push, bestseller push. We had like what, like 8 to 10 bestseller pushes just in January alone. So that's a common question that we get. In bestseller, the way that it works is we basically position you in easy to win categories, categories where you don't necessarily need a ton of sales to be able to win as bestseller. But ultimately, you obviously want to shoot for as many as you can. But we position you, we do some stuff on the back end to make sure that you can win bestseller. And then on your designated day, on your scheduled day that you'll schedule with us to do your bestseller push, you'll basically just push for as many paperback sales as possible between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. Sales outside of this range do count towards bestseller, doesn't necessarily hurt it. It's just the more congested the sales are, the better your sales rank is going to be. The more diluted it is, the less powerful you're going to have your standpoint. And a lot of people ask too, like, why paperback? Why not Kindle? And it's because Kindle sales don't count towards paperback bestseller and vice versa. And typically we tend to see better results when shooting for paperback over Kindle. And yeah, I think those are the three main questions that we get asked a lot. Mike, do you have anything else?
Well, just to kind of fill in the gaps there, because when people work with you, you will enter their life the moment the book interviews are complete. So the process looks like this. You would sit down with Kelly Crozer, who's actually in a meeting right now with somebody, and you would interview with them, and you would tell your lessons and stories to her, recorded via Zoom. She would take that, send it to a writer. A writer writes it. It goes to an editing team. A whole different division looks at it. Once that's done, it goes back to Ashley. Ashley will clean it all up and then send it to you. And so,
Hiccup in there. First, it goes to you before it goes to the editing team. It used to be where it went to the editing team first, but we noticed that, then it's not your edits don't getting edited. So it'll go to the writer first. The writer writes the whole book. We have a little stage in the middle where we send you a preview to make sure that the book is on the right track. And then once the book is finished, we send it to you. We send the covers to you. You get 20 plus covers to choose from right out the gate. And then after you're done with your edits, it gets sent to the editing team and they polish it up. They fix any spelling and grammar mistakes so that you don't have to stress about that too hard. And then it goes to publishing, where we get a copy in your hands, and then final edits, and then launch. And
beautiful. Yeah. So you have multiple divisions looking at it, and therefore your eyes will play tricks on you and you're going to miss some things. So you have two different teams. They don't even know each other. Is that right, Ash? That's how it was all set up. So the writers and the editors, do they even communicate?
No, not much. They do have like feedback reports that the editors supply to the writers, but there's no direct communication. But yeah, on top of the writing and editing team, you also have me, Elisa, and Phyllis. Phyllis is the editing manager, all looking at it. Kelly takes a look too to make sure the information seems on track since her knowledge of the interviews. So there's multiple people checking it for quality alongside yourself. So multiple checks in place to make sure that it's a success.
And so in between that, the interview and you receiving the book, there's an individual who puts together title and subtitle ideas. You pick your favorite title and subtitle, and then we go to cover design. And so right around, I believe the time frame is day 45 from the second interview. The book and the cover designs, Ash, is that the exact time frame that you've seen?
Yeah, it's around day 45, give or take a few days.
Beautiful. Okay, so then you make your adjustments like she was just explaining. Some people take a week, some people take a month, some people take way longer depending on your time frame and how much you can devote to it. And once you're happy with it, it goes back, you said, to an editor. Editor reviews everything, cleans it up, goes to print on Amazon under your account. Ashley and Colin. Colin is in the crowd right now. I can't get him to become a panelist for some reason. But
request again, because he messaged me about that and said, hey, I accidentally rejected it. So if you ask him again, he'll join in.
Yep. So I would like for you guys to get to meet Colin, because you would be working alongside with him. So I'll invite him again, Colin. We're going to promote you to panelist. Don't reject me. All right. This is Valentine's Day.
He's had enough reject. I know, that's tough.
I've been rejected many times on Valentine's Day. Don't do it, Colin. Come on. Anyways, Colin and Ashley, they work together and helping you get your book on Amazon under your KDP account. Once you are approved on Amazon, you print one for approximately $4 to $5, get it in the mail. You're able to see it for the very first time. Here's what it looks like. There's a hardcover. You get it in paperback, Kindle hardcover once it's all said and done. And once you give the thumbs up, Ashley, how does the bestseller push get scheduled?
You would just schedule it with me whenever the book is complete. Typically, you know, whenever you receive the book, everyone swears that they're not going to have edit. Everyone swears, I was so thorough. I was so thorough. I'm not going to have any edits. We're going to be good to go. Then they receive the book and they're like, wait, this is a much different experience than looking at a computer screen. So there will always be a final edit stage. Sometimes there's a handful of final edit stage. You know, sometimes it can take a couple of tries of sending it to print and then getting it in your hands and making some edits before we're like, okay, we're good to go. But once you get final approval, you just let me know. I explain bestseller, we get you on the schedule, and then I kind of already explained how the bestseller works. So
beautiful. And Colin, if you want to introduce yourself to everybody. And
hi, I'm Colin, Ashley's assistant, and I also do the warehouse stuff like shipping out the books and everything like that. So that's me.
So if you do fulfillment through us, as Elisa was describing, Amazon prints and ships your books for you. However, once you are a part of the $1 Million Book Agency that Elisa sets up for you with a funnel, she needs to connect all that to our warehouse, which means you would buy your book from Amazon, ship it to our warehouse. And if you get a lead, a phone number, address, email, anybody who buys your book or whatever, Colin comes to the warehouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, takes it off the shelf, puts it in a bag, and ships it out to your customers, double checking that the address is correct and making sure that it arrives. And so if it doesn't have a right address, most of your clients, I think studies show it's about 15%. 15% of people who buy your book will give you an address that's not verified. Am I right on that, Colin? It's about 10 to 15%.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And so Colin reaches out to your customers for you and gets the correct address. Think about that. Customers are putting in their address and they rush through it. And our ship station, which is the software program we use to ship things out, and it tracks if it's a good location or not. He double checks it, and if it's not a good location, it will never ship. So we do all that for you, and it's $97 a month just for that.
yeah,
So-
there's also, it's pretty cool because emails go out too, like tracking.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was going to
stuff.
say. Yeah, the
very, very
the
official.
consumer gets it tracked and everything, and same thing. Like if folks want to do DIY, we get that. You know, we've all been there. You know, we can still throw a couple templates at you to get you started. You know, it's no big deal. Just get on a call with me and tell me a little bit about the book and a little bit about what you're doing, and I can make sure you've got a couple templates that will be fairly easy for you to just kind of update. And you know, that sometimes that and a lot of times I can give you a couple automations that you can customize.
And this is why, guys, if you're going to have a CRM package, you want an agency to do it because every single person communicates with each other. And that means Elisa is communicating with Colin directly or with Ashley if there's a problem. Therefore, everybody's kind of pulling in the same direction. And if you duct tape CRMs or different companies together, it's almost impossible to get everybody on a Zoom call or to communicate, which causes many ripples.
Yeah, and we've been putting together, and I know we talked about this at our last team meeting, Mike. We've been putting together communities on high level.
Can you show that?
Yeah. Once I start working with someone, let me go to this.
And there's just a few people in the crowd here that we love, by the way. Richard Bischoff, Ken Keese, Josh Brisbane, George, Dan, Tony. Anybody have any questions? I mean, we've worked with all you guys. You've heard me talk. Some of you heard me talk for hours, and
way
God bless you for that. But if you guys have any questions, just put it in the Q&A or the chat. I think one of them.
Like for example, Richard and I have been talking within this structure like all day. so anyway, these are the projects. So you can see here's some of our clients here. These are you know, clients of the agency. And so you can see I've got different things set up. We're doing a course for Kent. So I've got a channel around the course. I've got a channel around the A2P registration. So he and I are going back and forth. Here's me 5 days ago saying, hey, take a look at this outline that we put together for you. Does this look good? He comes back. He gives me some notes. And I'm like, okay, great. I'll take those notes and incorporate them. So this is a platform, and there's other people on this platform. Mike's on here, Ashley's in here, Colin's in here. So all the team, the main players in the team are on this project as well. So if I need to say, hey, Colin, can you connect the funnel to the ship station, or say, hey, Ashley, can you answer this question about the cover or whatever, we're all in this kind of community together. So it's something actually fairly new that High Level put out. And we
It's
just,
its own Slack.
like I said, yeah, it's like a Slack, but you don't get charged for every person in your group every month. So it's included in your program, I think, right? Right,
Yep.
Mike? It's included in the $97 a month. So if you want to do that for your own clients and your own clientele, like if you develop a course or we develop a course for you, you pop it in that community, and now you've got that capability, and it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Yeah. So Josh Brisbane, for example, he has his own Go High Level account. You could have basically a Savage community, like Slack portal. People ask any questions, you know.
Yeah, and as a
Do I
side
throw
note
do I throw
too,
a punch with my thumb in my hand or not? That, you know, those type of questions you get.
I usually use anyway. We had a client, I can't remember their name, but they had their own Go High Level account, and then they found out about all the supports we do within ours. He's like, hey, can you move my? He didn't have a whole bunch of stuff, but he had quite a bit of stuff built out in his Go High Level account. He said, hey, can I move it over? I'm like, yeah, and we had that done within 2 days.
Well, Ken Keys asked a question, and I think this is going to be a perfect learning lesson. There are people watching within the group. So this is live everywhere on all the platforms. So if you guys are watching this live, asking a question, I'll be monitoring it. However, a question just came through on Zoom. Ken Keys, I'm going to allow you to talk here. So you asked a great question. Let's answer it live for you.
Can you hear me? Am I
good?
What's
up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man? Great to see everybody. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Ken, do you know the history of Valentine's Day real quick? Do you know?
All I know is that I show my love every day to my wife, and I don't need to celebrate Valentine's Day. How's that?
Good.
Happy wife, happy life.
Real quick, though, it's a pagan holiday. When it comes to back in the 3rd century, there was a sacrifices to the gods, I guess. They would rip animals apart, and then they would try to hit women with the dead body carcass, try to get them fertile. And then one step further, 3rd century, there was a priest that was marrying people behind the emperor's back. The emperor found out, sentenced him to death. And while he was sitting there in prison, people would come and visit and give him gifts like flowers and cards and all that. And on his death, or right before he was put to death, he gave a card to a girl that he fell in love with, the jailer's daughter. And the note said, "From your Valentine." Voila, he's sentenced to death. He dies on February 14th. And here we are years later celebrating Valentine's Day. Just want to give a quick little history lesson for you.
That is just so romantic.
Yeah. No.
Gonna go get me an animal carcass.
There you go.
Or just go somewhere with Tanner.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to give that because I found out that, and I'm just blown away. It's crazy. So, Ken, sorry about that, man.
No, hey, that is crazy. I actually thought about this the other day. Are we able to use that platform within our own business from using that? And how do we do that?
What you do there, Kent, is you're going to set up a sub account that is your business. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure, Mike, that even under their plan that their sub accounts are unlimited because it's under your plan. Is that true?
Well, Ken, I would love to promote you as a panelist, and maybe let's see if you're in front of a computer, we could solve that right now, because there's an invitation link at the very top. If we make you an admin, you should be able to invite anybody you want.
Yeah, and I think you can set up your own sub account for your business.
Can we show that? Can you just show where go to the admin portal and just make sure he says admin rather than just a user, and see if he's allowed to do that, because that would be amazing. Dan and Arella, Daniel Walker, good to see you. Richard Bischoff, I know you're just getting into this, but this will be crucial for you guys. I didn't know how powerful these group channels are, but I talk to my team so frequently now, rather than sending text messages or emails, I put it in the group and I tag the client. So everybody's in the room at the same time.
I'm just opening the screen and then I'll share it. So let me go to...
I'm going to jump in real quick for a second. Does anybody have any questions for me before I jump out of here?
No, if they do, they'll just put it down below. But we'll be doing these every 2 weeks. So
Okay.
good deal.
All right. Well, it's great seeing you guys.
Thanks, Ash.
All right, so here we are in Kent's group, and I go to settings, and I'm checking staff, and here's Kent, and we'll see if he's in as an admin,
It would be an admin as in the group
Yeah.
channel.
right? Oh, in the group channel, I see what you're saying.
Yep. So just go to the
Yeah, but he was asking, oh, I see what you're saying. So you're talking about the community groups.
go to
No,
the
you
group
would
commu-
want to,
Yep.
you'd want to do it in your sub account. And all you got to do is go here to memberships.
Yep.
And go to communities and groups. So for example, Kent, when we're done with your course, we're going to put it in a community. So you build out your courses here, you have your group here, and you just create a group right here. And then you name the group, you do a URL for the group, you describe the group, you can put a different brand color on it. You can put a favicon, which is the little tiny thing. I don't know if you can see up here. It's this little thing. And a cover image and a logo, and then you've created the group, and voila. And then all you have to do is invite folks. So let me just do it real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Because
you
we'll
will be
update it.
able to. I'm glad you bring
Oh,
this
yeah.
up.
Yep.
Guys, if you have your own group, you will be your own admin. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, you
can invite
actually,
anybody here.
whoever is in the sub account, when they're here, this is the important piece, is you want to be in there, Kent, or someone you have in your account as an admin, because whoever creates the group is the owner.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to make sure. So like here I am in this group that I just created. Here I am
There you
as
go.
the owner. That's why you don't want me to create the group or anybody else on your team. You want to be the owner there. And then you can invite people.
So then-
but at the same time, like if we, let's say we create a class, right? We're going to create this course and people enroll in the course. Part of the automation, part of the process that we put together is that they're instantly a member of this group. So you don't even have to add them.
Okay, can you show them that invitation link though, real quick? Can you just, there was a little, the link at the very top there.
Yeah. Let me
Just show them
share my
that,
screen
because
again.
Kent, you could create this right now and invite X amount of people, send that link out. We could even do it live right now if you wanted, but there's an invitation link right there, the blue button right there. It says invitation
Yeah.
link.
Well, you would start, like when you start in a group, you're usually, when you open a group, you're usually on this page.
Yep.
So you go over to people and then invite.
And then there's
and
that
then you
blue
fill their
link.
information, and then you
There-
can give them admin privileges.
There's a link at the
Um,
very top though. See, it says invitation link.
Oh,
Right
right.
there.
I see what you're saying. So you can do it this way and they'll get an email, right? So you can put their name and their email address and do an invite, or you can just click on the invite link.
That's what I
copy it,
prefer. Yeah.
And send it that way.
So
Yeah,
if you
either way.
sent that link out, anybody who gets that link has automatic access. It's
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So they don't even have to be connected to the MDBA, just as long as you're just inviting them through the email to have them, just so you have that connection. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Exactly. It's awesome. And it's what I usually recommend for anybody where we're setting up a group, because I shouldn't have stopped sharing my screen so fast. Let me just do it one more time real quick.
So you can also use this for projects within your company.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Exactly. That's what we're doing it for.
That's
And so-
exactly what we do it for.
So
Yep.
here's that opening screen. If I go to learning, any course that we have will be here. So even if you've built out a course already, we just click add course and we select the course. So see, these are the ones that we've got.
In our
I've got
agency.
available to me because it's me creating this course. But whatever we put together for you, you will be able to add this.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Love it,
really,
guys.
it's really powerful.
Cool. Great question. I'm glad you brought that up, because these are things that we kind of take for granted right now. We're like, oh my God, there's so much. That's why we're going to do these every 2 weeks, because it just
Yeah.
never ends. And
Yeah.
the more you know, the more you ask questions, because you're like, oh my God, what else can I do with this? It's wild.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
kind of crazy trying to stay in front of all the changes, all the amazing changes in high level. I mean, Mike and I, when we first started working in this, and we were working with Tanner, we were doing all this stuff in high level, and we all came to the conclusion that if you're not running your company through a system like this, and Go High Level is not a perfect platform by any stretch, but there's no such thing. However, the accessibility that we have to their leaders, like Sean, who's one of the co-CEOs, I've interviewed him and I've gotten on calls with him. They're available and they're really ramping stuff up. And so they very much listen to agencies like us who are looking for certain features. And sure enough, they add them. It's pretty impressive.
Question I get if anybody else has any questions, please just raise your hand or just put it in the Q&A. That was, let me see.
Yeah, and don't let me forget, I got an automation to show whenever you
right.
got a second.
So I just want to show something real quick that I got a question. I want to make sure it comes through. And if you guys are in there and you need an audio book, or if you need newsletters, we are now implementing all of this. So with this agency, there are so many people that have access that we can help different divisions create content for you pretty fast. And Elisa might be able to explain that in detail. But let me just share this screen. If you log in as part of the $1 Million Book Agency, there are certain things within Shop MDBA. And if you need A2P connection, which probably takes how much time, Elisa?
Minimum 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So
Yeah,
it's in
yeah.
here. And so if you just need A2P connection, I think it's $300.
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
So wherever it's at, it's in here. But random stuff that you will need, whether it's customer support, if you're only on the $97 payment plan, you just want help for an hour, you could just go in here and pay for this. If you need YouTube video promotion, $200 for
videos.
For videos. So these are, we're doing Facebook ads for our people's books now, and we're getting right around $2.50 to $5 per lead on certain ads. So like if you're looking for weird stuff, even this right here, pretty big, planners. So people wanted a like a to-do list for their book, right? So it's a hard, I have a copy right now and a planner. So I'm going to stop the share. If you want a planner of your book, we're doing those for people now. And so there's certain templates for like top 3 priorities, what inspired me today, what am I avoiding, daily wins, time schedule, so you can keep it all on track. So these are available in regards to your book. So I just created one a couple days ago. It's supposed to be here in a couple weeks, but now you can have a book with an audio book and a planner and a workbook. Like it all flows together, making your brand a lot better. So this has been something people have been asking about for, I would say, 2 years. Finally, we're implementing it and giving it to people because of the 5 templates that we have in place. So if you need that, it's available. Just want to show people it.
Yeah. And then a side note, if you go to shopmdba.com, you'll see all these things. If you're looking through that list and you feel like I need a few of these things, contact me, because a lot of times we can bundle stuff and get you a little bit of a discount. Like if for example, you want some YouTube promotion and you want some articles, because those are things, there's some overlap there, we can typically give you a bit of a discount. So if you go onto that shop and you need more than one thing on there, contact us, because we can often arrange a little bit of a discount.
Yep. So
sometimes a big discount, depending, right?
Yeah, depending on what you're looking for. Some people are like, "Hey, I want the whole kit and caboodle," and we're like, "All right, let's."
Then we can do a big discount for you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because so much of the work overlaps, right? If you're I want newsletters and I want some ads and I want some video editing, like all that work kind of overlaps. It's the same people working on those certain things, then we can bundle that, because it's more work, but it's not as much work if we're doing them like as standalone things. So we have that kind of flexibility, not all the time, but depends on what you're trying to bundle. But just get on a call with me and I can say, yeah, that's something I can give you a discount for.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Yeah, the top questions I get process, if there's any random things, that's what I want to answer today. Did you want to show some automations, Elisa?
Yeah, I want to show some automations because that goes with that first question. The most asked question I get is, how do I build out a funnel? Well, the funnel without automations is not going to serve you well, because especially if you're doing the upsells and downsells, you want automations to take care of that. So I want to show you a funnel automation. Again, this one isn't live. We're doing a lot of fine tuning on it because it's kind of complex. So let me share my screen and I'll try to remember where on all my tabs this is. I think it's here. Here it is. I'm going to go back actually so you can see this. So this is Christina. She's a real estate investment coach, and she had the funnel and then an upsell and then a downsell. So we actually built out 3 automations that work depending on where someone lands in the funnel. So this is a good one where they've gotten to the upsell. This is the empire building. This is a one-on-one coaching session with them. This is an exclusive group. This is an inner circle. So we start off that, hey, they bought the book. Christina gets a notification that someone's bought the book. We add a tag that this is an empire builder person.
Can you
So
show
if
that
we
internal
wanna-
notification real quick? I
Sure.
think that's significant. This
Yeah.
is crucial, guys. This has changed my life. Whenever I have internal notifications of what's happening with my business,
Yeah.
I am telling you, the dopamine hits. It's unbelievable. I'll be having a shitty day, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I got a sale. Boom, I got a lead. Oh, another
Yeah.
lead." Right?
And
It's
we put the
amazing.
little money bag in there for that dopamine. So you've got a new purchase for the empire builder. Here's their details, and then from us. So
Good.
then we add that tag for the empire builder, so that way we know that down the line maybe Christina wants to reach out just to those people,
Mhm.
or she has a special session just for those people, or something exclusive content just for those people. We've got them tagged as that they've purchased the empire builder. Then we assign it to Christina. We do that because within the system, or we can assign it to whoever you want, but we typically assign it directly to the client so that they get notifications of everything that's going on. We haven't fleshed this out yet, but basically the flow is that she wants them to book an appointment. So we give them the calendar link. We also send them text messages, because oftentimes if we're sending an email to someone, even if we've done all the right things with our email system, if there's an attachment or a link or something, that person's carrier's immediately going to put it into spam. So we send them a text message that says, hey, we've sent you this. Thank you. Check your spam. And we send a voicemail. And so this is Christina saying, hey, thanks for joining the Empire Builder. Please make an appointment with me. Check your spam. We wait 1 day. If they've booked the appointment, this initial automation stops. If they haven't, another internal notification, so-and-so hasn't booked the appointment. We send them an email reminder. We wait a couple minutes. We send them a voicemail. We wait a day. If we still haven't gotten anything, we send them a text.
That
And
is
again,
awesome.
we have
How'd you do the split, by the way? I haven't even done that yet. How'd you do the split?
It's a condition in the workflow. So you can set up a condition.
So good. All right.
And then you have a trigger link. So it's really, really powerful, because what we're doing is if someone hasn't made their appointment, we're notifying Christina. So she knows they haven't made an appointment. What we'll probably do is do another condition down here. And if they still haven't booked an appointment, we'll send a notification to Christina. Hey, reach out to this person. One of the things I always tell clients is the automations take you so far. At some point, especially with high ticket clients, just reach out, just give them a call, send them an email personally, send them a text message personally. They love that. So, and you would too, right? If you purchased a high level program like this program and you got a call from the person you just purchased that from, that's pretty cool. And that's how you make, really good fans and build a really great community.
Last piece I want to say about reaching out. Can you show conversations from anybody's where you would send a tag to people who just bought that one planner? Make sense? Like where you would send a text message or an email, and how easy it is to decipher who is where at in what in certain pipelines. That's
Yeah.
crucial, 'cause that'll change how you market to people, and you won't get, people to do not disturb emails and all that, because you're focusing on a specific niche.
Yeah, let me pull this up. Give me just a second.
And I could show something on my screen real quick too, if you want, because I think this is important. I'm going to share the screen.
Yeah, go ahead while I'm pulling this up.
And I'm just going to show you guys here. I have it so this is in my conversations. I send out emails and text messages from my company because I want my team to be able to respond if I'm unable to. Colin, who you just met, who's still on the call, if you guys have any questions for him, he'll go through. Yep, you there?
Yep.
So just if you want to jump on, or if you just want to answer what you do here, sometimes, and this is crucial if you guys are trying to grow a business outside of just you. Colin, how many times do you log into my portal here and then answer for me?
Oh, multiple times a day, usually. There's usually a lot of them. Yep.
And so, and the reason why is because 90% are the same answers or questions. Am I right?
Yep.
So we have a script that's basically, because people will be like, hey, I want to be on your podcast. Where do I schedule? Right? I don't technically need to jump into my email and answer that. Colin checks it. And I have a script that's already written out. Awesome. Schedule anytime here. Here's the link, right? It's just you copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. They schedule, it's done. And so that's why it's nice to have a system like this, because you will be able to hand it off to people in any part of the world to do certain things. And you can have virtual assistants. You could have, eventually just a part of your own team. It could be an assistant, whatever. But Walter Stahlhall, I just invited him if you wanted to be on this call, and he says he cannot apologize. All right. So great. No worries, Walter. We'll see you maybe next time. And then you just hit, I read it. And you're able to keep everything on track right here for you to see, and you can go through your emails. And thanks for inviting me. So this is one probably not, he's not ready to be on my podcast. All right. So no worries, dude. Well, maybe sometime next year. Anyways, you have an individual to go through whether to respond or whether you don't. And all of this could be easily handed off, but also you could send all of these people emails and text messages through what.
Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, let me show you, because I've got a perfect example here of the power of the automations. So let me share my screen. And I love it when stuff like this happens. All right, so here's client Tim Weems, another real estate coach, getting the free book. So he gets the free book, gets a voicemail from Tim, gets a text from Tim, and I love this. The guy says, stop. So the guy said, stop. I don't want to get any text messages. Okay, no problem. So it automatically enables do not disturb, but just for text messages. Okay. Then check this out. So this is January 23rd. 2 days later, the automation is set up to say, hey, we've got a free book for you. So here's a bonus ebook and course. All you have to do is reply yes. Reply yes. So guess what he did? Yes.
So that is, by the way, the moment they click stop, the system automatically takes them off.
It does it
text
automatically.
messages.
But here you can see DND text message. But 2 days later, we send them an email with more information. Please reply yes, which, by the way, is a great way to do this, because you're asking them to answer, an email, and he did. And so what I told this particular client, because of the nature of his work, is like, when you get these, reach out personally. So he called him.
Wow. And,
so
and a client is worth a substantial amount to him. So it's worth it.
Yeah. The power, I think he called him. I can't remember. There was another one that he got a call from. Might not be that guy. I might be mistaken there. But the point is, reach out to that person, because even if nothing comes out of that particular tidbit of conversation, you've now made a conversation, you've started a conversation, you've reached out to them, and that makes you stand out way above anybody else. So there you are. That's the power of that automation. So if you've got a funnel and good automations, and pretty much, I can tell you, pretty much anything you can dream of for an automation, we can do. And here's something, Mike said this at the beginning of this meeting. It's not just him doing this stuff. It's not just me doing this stuff either. Like I've got a team of go high level experts. This is what they do. So they build this stuff out. I might fine tune it. I'm reviewing it. I'm making sure that it's what the client wanted. Sometimes it's like 98% done. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Me and the client will finish it. So that kind of capability is what we have on this team.
And so if you can give a quick little summary on maybe when people join different packages, they do meet with you monthly. Now, this is also a big value add, guys. What we realize is that if you have to duct tape things together, you have no clear picture of what's working your ads. Are the emails going through? Do I need to fine tune maybe my course or whatever? You meet with them monthly. And can you explain that?
Yeah, basically when we're setting this stuff up, depending on how complex it is, I meet with them weekly to get it going, because there's so many moving pieces around getting a funnel going. Some of it's behind the scene that the consumer would never see. So I meet with them weekly to get that all built out. Once that's all built out and we're just kind of cruising along, I meet with them at least monthly. And occasionally someone will meet with me extra. Yeah, that's not a problem. Typically I can accommodate that. I might not be able to do it the same day, but I can accommodate it, or we can make a video, like a Loom video, and go back and forth. So we really want that support piece in there because, like, for example, if we set up a Facebook ad for someone, and this is a true story, we set up a Facebook ad for somebody. The ad was super successful in leading people to the funnel. Now, I thought it was a great funnel. Client thought it was a great funnel. We thought it was a great funnel, but we weren't getting anything past that, right? We weren't getting the conversions that we wanted. So that kind of contact and follow-up allowed us to go in and play with the funnel. And then we started getting some conversions. And like I said, the folks that I have who support us in the go high level realm, we can run SEO audits, we can run funnel conversion audits, we can run website audits that are, human eyes experts looking at this and saying, maybe change the phrasing here. And that's what happened. So, that kind of support is what we want. And also, the truth is that a lot of our clients can't do the whole shebang, right? We do one thing at a time, or we kind of build layers onto it. So it's like, okay, what next? All right, we got this done. Okay, we got the course done. What next? Oh, you want to do a webinar? Okay, let's start talking about that. Let's start setting that up. What next?
Case in point, guys, I have a YouTube channel and I realize my limitations. So I put out certain content weekly now. However, I do two different things. I have motivational videos and I have my podcast interviews. Elisa, I think since the beginning of time, has been saying, you need to advertise on YouTube. You need to, I'm like, I'm not ready. So I have to create a separate YouTube channel. So there's actually two YouTube channels. One's motivation, one's podcasts. And I need to explode that podcast video or that video channel fast. So we have a program that will get a lot of views through ads on YouTube that I'm going to implement. And so it didn't happen right away. You work your way up to it, but it's these little things that eventually, once you make a $5,000 sale from an email campaign, you say, okay, where am I weak at now? Okay, let me focus on that.
Yeah,
and you can do this in bite-sized chunks. And it's just, I mean, Elisa's been telling me for how many months, Elisa, and I wasn't listening. And I'm like, all right, it's time. I'm ready now.
He actually brought it up in the team meeting. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you saying you want me to finally promote these YouTube videos? Well, let me show you. Let me show you a quick example. Let me share my screen with.
And the reason why it's crucial, guys, is because just having someone in your ear to say what's next. It's great to have the clear path that when you hit a goal or whenever something comes your way, you're like, I know how to use this now. Got it.
Yeah. So check this out. Here's one of our clients, Damon. We just started promoting his channel 3 weeks ago. He's got over 1,000 subscribers. You can see the views on his videos.
Did he have zero subscribers starting out?
Zero. And, he would have videos that had 2, 3, 4 views, which isn't acceptable. If you're looking for social proof, people need to see these numbers. So we do a couple different promotions. One is what I call this quick one that gets you 1.4, 1.5 thousand videos. And then after that, we move them to a much more organic, much more targeted promotion where it grows slower, but you get more subscribers, you get more interaction, you get more feedback. And the Google/YouTube algorithm loves this stuff because, well, first of all, it's a Google ad. They love the money, but they also love that this is organic reach. This is legit. And so then what happens is at a certain point, if you keep doing this consistently for 3 to 6 months, the channel has a life of its own now, and we can usually scale back that promotion, right? Or just promote things like, I really want this one to show up very quickly, and you just all you got to do is tell me which one and I can load it up for you. And within 2-3 days you get those views. You start getting those views. But like I had one that I promoted, like typically, like I said, you get like 1.3, 1.5 thousand views immediately. An account that I've been working with for about 2 months now, we recently put one up and it's got 5,000 views. So that's that kind of organic, the channel, people coming back, people seeing notifications because they're subscribed and so forth. So it's an incredibly valuable thing, and it's cheap. It's $50 a video, and same thing. Like if someone wants to promote more than, I think in the store we have it at 4 videos for $200. If you want to promote more than that, I can definitely get you a bulk discount. So just let me know anything like that. If you see something that the store you want more of, or like I said, 2 or more products, just let me know. A lot of times we can arrange a discount for you because it's ultimately less work for me if I'm working on something at the same time, or the team's working on something at the same time, versus going in and, chopping. It's much, and it's actually, it's smarter because it's so much more strategic,
Yeah.
right?
So
We know we're building this for this.
yeah, and so it's an ad that goes out that gets automatic views. Now, YouTube will start to realize who's watching and who isn't. So the problem that many people will face is that having multiple different like types of content on one channel, and you do that,
Yes.
it will hurt you. But what's great about what she's doing, this is why I'm implementing it with my podcast channel, and it's brand new, by the way, is that the guests will be more likely to share out the video if there are a lot of views on it. So when Damon Nichols has a guest and has 1.5 thousand views, they're going to be more proud to share it out with people. So it's another psychological thing, and it's going to add so much to your brand. But
Yeah,
I'm glad
for
you
sure.
showed that. We have before we run out of time for today, another individual on our team. His name is Rob Culbertson. I think I tried to invite him 5 times as a panelist. He rejected me again. So Colin, what's up with these guys? Guys,
It's the guys.
I don't know what's going on here on Valentine's Day, but are you able to get on camera, Rob, just to introduce yourself? Rob?
Well, I'm driving, so how about we save the camera for next time? But I'm here, and I accepted. Come on.
Yeah, so he's a panelist. That's all that matters. Rob, just introduce yourself, what you do for the company, and also I guess what you're offering for people if people are struggling like Damon, or if anybody needs content.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to meet everyone. I'm Rob Culbertson. So what I'm doing with the $1 Million Back Agency is helping out with social media content and podcast development. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or potentially getting on other podcasts, or just grow your social media presence, we're doing a couple really nice things as far as promoting that content and growing that content. So what we're going to be introducing here now this month is daily content, unlimited content, where I can meet with you and interview you, ask you, 50 questions, and schedule out social media content for the entire month. So if that's something that you're struggling with, that's something we can really help out with.
Yeah, let me just jump in there. Even myself, like creating 45-second clips that are direct and poignant of like with a clear message was difficult. Like we do podcast interviews, and sometimes I'll answer, or you will answer, whatever, and it's a 3-minute answer. Well, social media doesn't like 3-minute answers. They want 60-second or less answers, maybe even 15-second. So Rob Culbertson figured out this solution where he would meet with you and he would say, okay, what's the solution to your business? Right. And you would have it ready to go. What we do is we all help people write books and become entrepreneurs and grow their businesses. Right. That one little piece can be added to either video.ai, which is an AI program that will cut it up and make it look real nice and pretty for very low cost, or you send it to a videographer and it's already done in a packaged form. So you take that and then you schedule it out via heropost.io. And so these once a month meetings that he does with people, he's able to break it down, upload it for you, and now you have video content on your YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook after one meeting. And so now you have unlimited content that you could throw it into email blast or text message blast or make it a part of a course. I mean, it never ends as long as you have the video content. So hopefully I was able to summarize that up for you, Rob.
Oh yeah. And as eloquent as you always come out on speaking, Mike, even with you, there were a couple takes that we took on certain questions where I caught you off guard and you wanted to get a very specific answer out, punch in as much content as you could within a minute and a half. And so a couple times we went through it a couple times before you got the right answer, which is great with this type of setup, because even if you're not the most eloquent speaker, which I certainly am not, it gives you an opportunity to really put out some professional quality content because you're not doing it live. Well, you are, but you're able to perfect what you're doing, and we'll take the best parts of the interview and use those for content. So it's a great thing for people that maybe don't feel they're the best speakers. It's also great practice for people that want to get into coaching and doing coursework and doing podcasts. So it's the perfect practice from that perspective as well.
Yep. So if you guys need help with that, I think you can get it through Shop MDBA or just reach out to us whenever you're working with Elisa, and she could put you in touch with Rob. But or if you just want to put your phone number or email down below, Rob, people can respond directly to you. We're just trying to make it as easy as possible to turn your book into an ever-growing business. So you will need obviously the ads and the YouTube channels and the quick little clips. You kind of need it all. Maybe you don't need it all at once, but eventually you will. So we're just trying to summarize the entire process down to one website, which is the Shop MDBA $1 Million Book Agency. Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're always happy to answer quick questions you have and do some quick brainstorming with you. Even if it's just to say, well, why don't you wait till you're at this point and then give us a call? We really want to make sure it's a team and that it's at the right time for you.
Yep. Yeah. So we have this philosophy, right? You got to have the book done first. You're a bestseller. You have social proof. And then you have to have the systems, the automation, right? To get on podcasts doesn't really mean anything unless you have a system on the back end that actually captures leads. So we believe you need to have the agency, the website, and all that set up. But that's just one step. The automation, the revenue streams on the back end. So once the book actually can lead to money in your pocket, you'll have a return on investment. Then you might want to go crazy with the promotions. You need all that set up prior, and that way you could see a quick return on investment. And it works in many different directions, right? A lead for this one part might not be for everything in your business, but specifically for a solution that you offer. So just capturing all that data, you can monetize it now or later, and that needs set up in the beginning.
Yep.
So yeah,
for sure.
Ken Keys, did you get that? I think so. Very nice. Yep. You got the his contact information. $1 Million Podcast at gmail.com, and his phone number is there for you guys. Loved your book, Kent. Did you see that, Kent? That's hilarious. Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So that's what I wanted to get to. Anything else, Elisa, Colin, Rob, anything you want to say? Because I want to try to keep these short so we don't waste anybody's time and be very respectful to your day. So is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up for today? And we'll be doing these every 2 weeks, these open Q&A sessions, and then every other week. So Next Wednesday will just be a $1 Million Circle webinar, and that will be a very targeted approach on a solution, very much like on YouTube or newsletters.
Yeah, yep. No, I'm good. I covered most of those, and as I'm talking with people, I'm jotting down the questions so we can address them in a couple weeks.
Yep. So every 2 weeks, guys, these will be recorded, added to the agency. And if you have questions in between now and then, like just put it in the group. We're going to take notice of it, and then we'll answer them live, or we'll just answer them right there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but thank you very much, Elisa, Colin, Rob. Thank you very much for being here. And Kent for the questions. Everybody else is part of this for now in the room, in the Zoom room. We have Tony Van Stuyck, Dan Inarella, Daniel Walker, Richard Bischoff, really great people. So I really appreciate you being here. This is the beginning of a whole new direction for us where live calls, I think it'll change everything. It'll make people's lives a lot easier. So we'll be here for you. But anything else, guys? Anything, Elisa?
Nope, I'm good. Just
right.
like I said, reach out if y'all need anything, even if you just want to brainstorm some stuff. Happy always to chat with you.
All right, guys, the $1 Million Book Agency. It's not just me. As you see, the entire team really makes it come to life. So we're here for you. Let us know. $1 Million Book will lead to $1 Million life. Right on.
Right on.